I'm Yara Rouhana. I'm a psychologist slash psychotherapist. I have experience in very major different settings and population. And I'm happy to be with you today. And I hope you benefit from the time that we have together. So since this is a very short...
أنا بدأت ميتنج
Sorry?
عشان كده.
All right. Please, can you guys mute yourself? Okay. I thought that you're talking to me. All right. Okay, so what you need for this workshop, first of all, you need an open mind. Okay, we are going to talk about things that require some kind of...
وانت ينفع تصور قبل وبعد تقول اوجدوا 7 اختلافات ما حيلاقوا 3.
Sorry, I kindly request participants.
Can you mute all?
Please?
Are you able to mute everyone?
ليش دحين عندك اكثر؟
1 second, I'll have to go back to Zoom.
قناعة كنز لا يفوت. الله يديم.
Okay, 1 second. Who's talking?
من شهرين؟
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Okay. Moving on. So you definitely need an open mind for this workshop and also your phones, okay? Because you will have some QR codes to scan. Okay.
ازيك يا حبيبي عامل ايه؟
I kindly request whoever's talking.
لا عم انت هتطلع عليا اشاعات ولا
Mr. Muhammad. It's okay, it happens. All right. All right, moving on. So let me ask you first the first question. So this year's workshop is called The Science of Being. And I would like to ask you first, what do you think is the difference between being well and well-being? What do you think? Let's think about it for a second. You can unmute your microphones, tell me what you think, or just type it on chat, please. What do you think is the difference between these two terms? Anyone? Yes. Oh, I see Mrs. Sandra, Dr. Sandra, you're here with us.
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
All right, so Neil said that it's basically being well, no sickness, well-being, overall physical, mental state, happiness, yeah. Well, we have different understandings of what this means, mental and physical well-being. All right, let me just walk you through our perspective of what the difference is between being well and well-being, because it will build some kind of framework to our following workshops. So technically, being is a verb. So being is a verb, right? It's a verb to be. And a verb, if you want to think about it, it's an action. A repetitive action becomes a habit. And so our habits, they determine our quality of life. And our quality of life is based on our choices. And so in this way, we can see that well-being is actually a choice that we can take to prioritize in our lives today. And so from well-being, from being well, which is starting with a habit, we can reach a state of well-being. And today we're going to start with discussing simple habits that you do during the day, in the morning specifically, that will eventually lead to a healthier morning, which therefore will help you have a better well-being. All right, so this is basically the whole perspective that I'd like to keep in mind. Our main objectives today is basically to introduce certain morning habits that will help you reduce your stress levels and will definitely, we hope that you probably adopt at least one of these healthy morning routines. Of course, in 45 minutes, we cannot change drastically our lifestyle. But however, this workshop has been inspired by one of my sister's friends who has worked in corporate for more than 10 years. And so the other day I was talking to her and she's like, well, Yara, you know, I had this intention to start focusing on my well-being. And so I woke up in the morning, I went to the gym. I had this intention to go to work at 9 instead of 7 and leave work at 5:30 instead of 7. And so I did that for a day or two, but then work started piling up. And when I saw that work started piling up, I'm like, no way, I had to let go of that routine or that, well, intention. And so I understand that we all live a very extremely stressful life. And I do hope that that this workshop will help really just plant one small seed of understanding of the fact that no matter how stressful our lives are, if we don't pause for a second, if we don't try to pay attention to our intentions, and by that I refer to our inner intentions, okay? We will never reach to a point where we can actually change an intention to an actual habit. So let's start by keeping this in mind and realizing that today I'm just going to be mindful of what the things that we're going to talk about, and especially for those who have a lot of racing thoughts, who live in anxiety, who are procrastinators, who are perfectionists, who have constant stress in their lives. All of these are like typical personality traits that most of us probably have that causes us a lot of stress. So I'm really talking to such individuals in this group today, especially. And I hope that you will start, understanding what morning routines are and the importance of them. All right, so let's take a habit and discuss together at least one routine that you usually have in the morning that you think is good and healthy. And if you don't have any, of course, just go to ChatGPT and tell us one thing that you find healthy. You can even scan this QR code and type your answers here so that we can all see them. Yeah, and feel free, of course, to unmute your microphone and just answer directly. It's up to you. One morning routine that you either do or that you hope to do, because we all have a lot of intentions to do a lot of things. Great, I see one person typing already. Exercise, meditation, breathing, morning meditation. Definitely a shower is a very good morning habit. Okay, journaling. Awesome. Breathing, cup of coffee, of course. Visiting my small garden. It's nice that you have a garden. Not holding the phone first thing in the morning. Awesome. Drink water. Praying is also very common. All right, so these are all common morning habits that we do, right? And even if you go to ChatGPT, it will definitely tell you, do the following, everything that you said already. So technically, basically some suggestions would be to do some stretches, go for a walk in the sun, drink a lot of water, exercise, meditate, and journal, and so on. Now, we all know that these are important, and these are things that we actually love to do in the morning. But how many of us really adopt such habits. Okay, so let's look at the Slido again, and just think about it. How many of you actually adopt at least one of these? And I did not put none because I hope that you at least drink water in the morning. Okay, so that's quite important. How many of you adopt at least one of these habits? Okay, one of these habits. You know, living here and being in a very stressful environment, some people believe that they don't have time, which I totally agree. One of you actually answered 3 habits. That's great. I'm glad you're giving this a priority. Awesome. Okay, so technically, what I'm going to share with you today are a bunch of tiny habits that go within all of these habits that don't really take much time. Let's start with the first one. And so you see, the reason why I'm doing this and why we decided to structure this workshop in that way is because the truth is we live in a more and more disconnected world. We are disconnected from our emotions, our bodies, each other, our environment. This has been our reality for a long time, and especially during these tough times that we are going through today in our lives, right? So many of us just live in their heads, in that head space. And Dr. Gabor Mate, which is an amazing author and doctor that if you're interested, we can talk more about in the end. He talks about this as the 3 level of knowledge. We have to stop living in our head and to be more connected with our bodies, our emotions, and our thoughts to be able to be more, one step ahead towards a better well-being, especially mental. Okay, so let's go and walk through the day, through the morning. So as soon as you wake up, before you leave home, on your way to work and in the office, let's look at imagine your life going through these 4 steps. And we'll start with the first one. What do you think, or what do you usually do as soon as you wake up? What is one thing that you do? Often I check Instagram. And I wonder how many of us do that as well. I mean, personally speaking, these days, this is what I do. Check my phone, take a shower, check my phone. What else? Who else checks their phone? I'm assuming many of us probably do that, right? All right, so first thing in the morning is very important. Think about work. I wonder if you start thinking about work as soon as you wake up, or you actually sleep thinking about it, because this is what I usually do as well, before I started really thinking about me first. All right, so yeah, going to TikTok, checking your phone, these are things that we usually do a lot. Now, one habit that you can start actually endorsing in your morning is just being silent. Imagine how many of us don't stay silent. We always have over-racing thoughts. So let's look at this word for a second, silence. And when we talk about silence, and this is the Dr. Gabor's book, The Myth of Normal. If anyone is interested in this whole topic, you can read his book. He talks a lot about this toxic culture, this toxic society, the toxic world that we live in, that we are more and more disconnected. And so silence is the #1 way for us to actually connect first thing in the morning. And when I say silent, just complete silence. All right, so it's not just talking or texting or just reading someone else's messages. This is not being silent. So it's active silence and active and passive silence. And this silence is more than just really not talking or not looking at your phone. It's literally just closing your eyes and noticing the environment that you're in. And notice that you really need this to just shut down from all the distractions and all the thoughts that you have to start your day in a fresh way. All right, so we're not talking here about using your phone. Just stop doing that for a second and just be silent. And the way that you do that is just simply closing your eyes. And let's do it for a second, us together. So let's close our eyes for a minute. Take a deep breath and just listen. Just listening to the environment. This is all that it takes. You can do this for 1 minute, for 2. And so silence has a lot of benefits scientifically. It lowers your blood pressure, it improves your concentration and focus, it calms your racing thoughts, stimulates your brain. It reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone. It stimulates your creativity, it improves your insomnia. So when we are living in such an overstimulation in our real world, whether it's sound pollution or all of these different distractions, silence is a way to just keep our minds at peace. Now, how much time do you think this would take from your morning? 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes? I don't think it takes much time. It takes probably 2, maximum 3 minutes, right? Now, habit number 2, which you can endorse as well, and which helps us connect with the body a lot, is while you are silent, you can simply take a deep breath and visualize this breath going all the way to your forehead, between your eyebrows, relaxing your muscles. So just literally, just imagine the muscles between the eyebrows relaxing, the muscles between here and the jaw, because you clench a lot. We usually clench our teeth a lot while we're sleeping. So it's very important to just, relax the muscles in the jaw area. We relax the muscles in the neck as well, and also in our shoulders. This is extremely important as we hold a lot of burden. And for those who have a lot on their plate, or who think that they are, or they feel that they are burdens to others, this is where sometimes you feel a lot of pain and physical pain. It's in the shoulder area. You see, every part of the body, whenever you feel any physical pain, it reflects an emotional state. Again, if you're interested, we can talk more about it later on. So let's try to do it as well together. Imagine, just take a deep breath. Imagine your breath going all the way here. And then to your jawline. And then to your neck. You can massage your neck while doing that. And then to your shoulders. All right. Now that we woke up and we tried to be silent and take a deep breath, relaxing these different parts of the muscles in our top area, what do you usually do before you leave home? And this is a question for everyone. So if you want to unmute your microphones, you can just share with us, what do you usually do? Some of the habits that you do. Some of us like to maybe drink coffee while watching their favorite series. Could be reading a book. What do you usually do before you leave home?
So basically hitting the gym Right, either swimming or running. So these I'm just doing both of them on different days. And breakfast, of course. Watching the news while I'm eating breakfast. Yeah, and taking a shower, of course. And the normal things, brushing my teeth, wearing my clothes, blah, blah, blah. But I think these are the main highlights.
Okay, now question. Do you feel that you do this and you really pay attention to what you're doing?
Of course not. That's routine. That's the beauty of routine, is that you don't really need to consume your mind.
Well, you see, that's why we're having this workshop, because it's the total opposite. So embracing your morning, experiencing your morning, which is usually something that you do without thinking, you do it mindlessly, you do it without even thinking of what you're doing. However, your mind is thinking about something else. How many times have you brushed your teeth, for instance, and you were thinking of something else? Or maybe, yeah, go ahead.
For me, it's always, yeah.
Always, right?
Yeah, always. I'm always thinking about the same thing, basically, is that I need to buy a new toothpaste tube, but yeah.
Have you brushed your
Other
teeth
than that.
and looked at the mirror while doing this? Do you usually do that?
No, absolutely right. Yes. Why it's not a very nice scene, but yeah, I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and thank you. It's nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is, this is our mistake, and so here we're trying to correct mistakes. The thing is, we live in an autopilot. We forget that we have to enjoy that one thing that we do. Just be there with that thing that we're doing. It could be as simple as brushing the teeth, because this is connecting us to the body. It's connecting us to that, to the sense of, to the senses, to the five senses, because we don't usually do that. So whether it's brushing your teeth, drinking coffee, just living mindfully with coffee, just, you know, that the taste of coffee, notice the heat, notice the smoke coming out, you know. So it's everything that you're doing, whether it's watching TV with your coffee, just be there and watch it. So that's the beauty of experiencing this morning in a mindful way. In the shower, for instance, instead of like just thinking about so many things, just, you know, take this time to feel the water on the skin, the smell of the soap, for instance. Of course, while eating the breakfast as well, while praying, while walking the dog. Many people do that during the day in the morning. And so it's just the experience of involving your senses in all of these different habits. So how much time does this take? You're doing it anyways. It doesn't take much time. It's just the way that you're doing this habit. This is what matters. And there's the science behind it. There's scientific evidence in the field of neuroscience. And it goes back to that idea of attention, intention, and intentions. It's basically you're trying to shift your attention from what's outside and what's in your head to your body. And this helps us calm down. It helps us know ourselves better. It helps us focus, stress less, change our habits. We become more resilient with time. We start enjoying these little things in our lives. And so if we have time, maybe in another workshop, you can talk about the science of mindfulness, and which talks about how really the changes happen in the brain. You can see people who practice such lifestyle and put them under the fMRI machine, the functional magnetic resonance imaging machine, and you can see how the brain starts activating in a different way. And even the structure of different parts of the brain, for example, that part that's responsible for the memory, it starts growing in size. And we're talking here about significant changes in the brain function and structure. So mindful living has been proven to be very, very effective. So next time you want to brush your teeth, just notice how you're brushing your teeth, right? Or doing anything, eating breakfast or just anything. All right, now we are there. We are going to work. What are some things that you do while you're going to work? Some people like to listen to music. What do you usually do?
Audiobooks for me.
Okay, audiobooks, play some music in the car. Some people like to talk to their loved ones, listen to the news, podcasts. Awesome. Well, noticing for example, listening to music. Do you listen to music actively? Like, how do you listen to music? Do you just put it in the background, or do you actually listen to the words, listen to the beat, move your body with the rhythm, and so on? Sing along. Often what we do is we are so immersed in our thoughts, we just put music in the background, forgetting that music is a healing power on its own. So, and this is why there's a whole field called music therapy. It's healing through music. So imagine how healing is music. So again, when we are on the road, maybe stuck in traffic, even, how about we just breathe while we are doing that? So for instance, if you are driving and you are stuck in traffic, because this is something that many people get stuck in, and instead of just wandering with your thoughts or putting the music on loud or changing the channel, just pause for a second and breathe. Now I'd like you to all take a deep breath in. So try to take a deep breath and notice if your shoulders go up. Try to take a deep breath. All right, so Yusuf, you noticed your shoulders going up, right? Who else noticed this?
Yes, that's true.
Yep.
Yep, me too.
You too, right? Well, you see, the reason why our shoulders go up is because we are always breathing in the wrong way. What happens is when we are an infant, just right out of the womb until we are age 5, we breathe the correct way. We have what's called the belly breathing. Belly breathing is the correct way of breathing. Now, after age 5, when we start going to school and sitting a lot instead of moving and being active, when stress starts building up, because this is when the child knows that, there is right or wrong, there are rules to follow. My mom is not my only universe. I have multiple adults that I'm dealing with. All of these create stressors in a child's life. And so what happens is the breathing stops becoming from the belly. Instead, it becomes very, very shallow. So we have to, sorry?
And the breathing comes, I mean, from the chest normally after that age.
Exactly. That's correct. So the breathing comes from the chest, and this is how it looks like. It's called shallow breathing. And as you can see, chest breathing or shallow breathing doesn't go all the way down to the digestive area, which will be our next topic. It will not go down to stimulate and to relax the muscles of that area. And so the abs start, they're just stuck in place, and the whole body is not feeling that relaxation. And so imagine that as we grow up, we have to relearn things. And we relearn so many things, even the most basic survival mechanism that we have. So by deep breathing, but we are being mindful of what we are doing at the moment. And this also has a lot of scientific evidence. And this takes us also back to that picture over here, which Dr. Gabor talks about as the 3 levels of knowledge. Again, it's the knowledge of the mind, the intellect, which most of us live in all the time. This is why we have anxiety. This is why A lot of people suffer from depression, PTSD, stress, perceived stress, and all the other physical symptoms that come with that, right? So what we want is through our belly breathing to go all the way from that head space to the chest and to the gut. And this is how we do it. So let's try to do it together. You put one arm on or one hand on your belly, and you inhale by taking the belly out. So you inhale out, just like the picture, and then you exhale. Notice your belly going in. Again, you inhale, the belly goes out, and exhale, the belly goes in. And so this is very important, especially when we are stuck in traffic, because usually that sense of frustration comes out. And this is some scientific evidence of how deep breathing reduces stress and anxiety, because it switches the brain and that stress response from that fight or flight, that response that tells us, okay, there's some kind of danger and I have to like fight it. And so deep breathing shifts us back to that other state of rest and digest, which is that state where we can build some kind of and social engagement. We also have enhanced focus and concentration. It quiets our mental cluttering. It allows us to concentrate. It minimizes a lot of physical tension. Trust me, this is something that many people who meditate and who do yoga understand, because they actually are told to do it. But trust me, this is something that has been proven time and time again to really reduce the physical tension. And finally, it can even boost your immune system. It encourages a healthy immunity response, and it aids your immune system to fight illness. As you know, we have a connection between the mind and the body. And this connection between the mind and body is so important. And often studies have been really showing again and again. And if you read Dr. Gabor's book, you will see that even illnesses like cancer are triggered by emotional repression, by emotional traumas, even illnesses like cancer. We have to stop looking at our bodies as separate from us. And by doing these morning routines, it's really helping us connect with who we are, with what our body wants, because it's something that we take for granted. However, it's something that this is the only thing that we live in and that we own, actually, right? So it's not really enough to exercise, take care of what you eat, and go to a nutritionist, count calories, because often people come to the clinic and we see this a lot, and they just do everything, but they are not losing weight, for instance. And I'll keep more details for the next session, because it's all about nutrition and healthy eating and whatnot. And I trust me, it's that idea that we have of this connection between our body and our mind. This is what's causing illnesses, depression, anxiety, stress. This is what's increasing it. And so one way to really stay grounded in the present moment is something that you can do through your senses. It's the 5 senses that we have, whether it's sight, touch, hearing, smelling, or tasting. This is what you can do. So while you are driving, you can notice 5 things that you see. And this is a way for your mind to go from the attention that's keeping it away from your body back to the body. So if I ask you right now, tell me 5 things that you see in front of you, what would it be? Five things that you see. Other than the screen. What else?
Cup, mobile phone, notebook, wallet, charger.
What do you notice happened at this moment when I asked you?
I started looking, I started searching. I didn't have them in my mind.
You started paying attention.
Mm.
And so your attention shifted from that
True.
to that specific question.
Mm.
And so 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. This is an exercise that usually is done in suicide hotlines. When someone is calling a hotline and can't take it anymore, you know, and he's in a suicidal state, the first thing that they do is they put their attention, they try to keep the attention back to the present moment. They ground them. And so this is a great technique to use if you are under stress or if you feel like something is going on. Staying grounded in your 5 senses. And so now you are in the office, ready to start your day. You started your day by embracing your silence, visualizing your breath going all the way from the top, all the way down, relaxing your muscles. You experienced your morning instead of just drinking coffee mindlessly, taking a shower without thinking, even sometimes praying without even feeling the words coming out. So now you know that you need to experience them. You learn how to deep breathe, so the belly breathing versus the chest breathing. And you also practice mindfulness and grounding techniques, either while going to work, on the way, or during that morning. And so now you are ready. You are ready to set an intention that does not reflect inner tensions. You are actually learning how to pay attention to know how to actually, you know, set a proper intention. And as the book Atomic Habits, which is a brilliant book, I don't know if you guys have read it before, but it's a very, very nice book. It talks about changing habits 1% at a time. So if I ask you today, choose one habit that you think you are going to start embracing today, what would it be? From these 4 different ones that were discussed together. What would be a one habit that you would embrace? What do you think?
Yeah, I can think I can commit to deep breathing. Seems easy. Not
Deep
very
breathing.
disruptive. Mm.
You think the others are not easy?
No, embracing silence, it would be strange, right? Imagine me, for example, sitting in my house's living room, right? And I just went silent, right? Or even in office. So I don't see it would work. Maybe it can work in cars, maybe in some other settings, but I think that deep breathing is a little bit easier to implement.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. And sometimes someone, Beverly, suggested mindfulness and grounding. And if any one of you have kids, then using the strategy, the 5 senses grounding technique with kids is brilliant. We are teaching it now to different teachers, and it's been very, very effective. Okay, great. So by this, I mean, this is all what I had for today. Simple, sweet, and short. And the whole point is really just connection and to reconnect with our bodies, because this is the only habit that will save you. And thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Just before you go, if you can just take some time to fill the feedback form, that we would really appreciate it. I'm going to send it now on chat, and you can also scan the QR code if you'd like. And so just send us your feedback so that we know what to do better for next time. And please, if you'd like to follow us, this is our Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very, very good...
Just a quick, I'm sorry, just a quick feedback. The link doesn't work. Johnson & Johnson does not allow us to go to the link. It gives us a little bit of alert that it might not be safe. So
Okay. Maybe we can share it by email.
I think the link itself, the docs.google.com, we cannot reach it. It doesn't allow. So even if you share it by email, I don't think it would work.
Okay. What
I'm
about
just
the
assuming.
QR code from your phone, maybe?
Let me check that. Just a minute, please.
Thank you so much.
It's working fine on, okay, very good. On mobile phone, maybe.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
it works. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too. I'm going to stay for a bit if any one of you has any questions, so feel free to ask me anything, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Thanks, Yara. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Yes, of
Bye.
course, we will share the recording once we're done, I believe. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sandro.